What's up guys, and welcome back to the channel. Kara Corey here, and I'm back to bring you another high protein recipe. And for today's recipe, I'm gonna make like a delicious oaty, chocolatey, high protein bar. So this is gonna be made very easily. You guys will probably have most of these ingredients lying around your kitchen. I know I did, which makes it easy. What we're gonna cook the bars, and we're gonna bake these, and we're gonna use an 8x8 pan. So I've got that already sprayed up with some non-stick pan spray. Go ahead and set that aside, and we're gonna preheat our oven to 350 degrees. So for this recipe, I am going to use the vegan protein per item and chocolate. This isn't gonna be a vegan recipe, but you very easily could make this vegan if you want to by using a vegan butter and omitting the egg that I'm about to use. But it's not gonna be totally vegan. I just love this protein. I'm very impressed with it, especially with how it bakes. The flavor of it, it's kind of beats out the chocolate whey protein in my opinion. So we're gonna use that today. All right, so very easily we're gonna start with our bowl, and we're gonna start with the wet ingredients first. And I'm gonna first add one whole large egg in there. Crack that in the bowl. Set that aside. And then I am gonna use butter, as I mentioned, for this recipe. I'm using the Kerrygold Irish butter, and I'm using a little bit under a half a cup of that. I already went ahead and melted it. You guys don't have to totally melt it. You could soften it if you want, but I just went full-blown melting it. So 1/2 cup, gonna pour that in there. I'm gonna use some pure vanilla extract. We're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of that. In that combination, we're gonna add the sweeteners we're gonna use. I'm choosing to use Splenda. You guys can switch that up how you want. But I'm gonna do 1/3 of a cup of just regular Splenda. And then we're also gonna add some brown sugar to this as well. I like using the Splenda brown sugar, but you guys could switch that up. You could use coconut sugar, regular brown sugar, whatever you want. Okay, I'm gonna use 1/3 of a cup. With brown sugar, you just wanna make sure you pack it in there nice and good. Dump that in there. Then we're gonna go ahead and just stir this up before we add everything else. So we're whipping that up. It's gonna be kind of like a thicker, stickier concoction. It's okay if it's a little bit lumpy right now. We'll get that all squared away. But what we're gonna do is add to it oat flour, a combination of oat flour and oats. And we're gonna add 1 full cup of each. I'm not weighing it out, but 1 full cup of oat flour. And then I am using the old-fashioned oats just because they're a little bit oatier, if you will. They're a little bit thicker, a little bit heartier. So we're gonna do 1 full cup of that. And then we are going to add some baking soda, and that is gonna be 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. Again, we're just gonna go ahead and mix that all up, and this is gonna be the dough for this recipe. We're gonna use it as a batter on the bottom, and then we're also going to set a little aside and layer it to kind of top it with like some blobbers of oaty goodness on top. So once you've got it all mixed up, you're gonna wanna reserve some for the topping, as I mentioned. So I'm just gonna take a scoopful for now and set it aside. And then what we're gonna do in our 8x8 pan is just go ahead and put the dough in there and press it down evenly. Just gonna use my fingers. We're just gonna press that down evenly for the crust of the oat bar. So for the chocolate filling, what we're gonna use are some semi-sweet chocolate chips, 1/2 cup of those. I went ahead and already melted them in the microwave. And what we're gonna do with that is add to it 1 scoop of your chocolate protein. Go ahead and mix that up. As you're mixing these together, you're gonna wanna add in a little bit milk just to get it to the right consistency. For the vegan protein, I have to add a little bit more milk because it's a little bit thicker than the whey. So just add in a little bit at a time until you get the right consistency. So now after adding the milk and the protein, you get this thick, fudgy goodness. And what we're gonna do is just go ahead and plop that all on top of your oat layer. And then we're gonna spread that all the way across. So now I reserved like a handful of the dough mixture, and I'm just kind of like gonna play with it, play with the ball in my hand. And then what I'm gonna do is just kind of slowly throw it all over the place. I'm gonna try to break it up in little tiny pieces and just start to drop it on top of it so that I hopefully cover like a good portion of it. My favorite part is having an oat bar with like a nice crumb topping on it. I'm gonna push down the topping as well before we pop it in the oven. Kind of smack it a little bit. And then we're gonna throw it in the oven at 350 degrees for about 20 minutes. All right guys, 20 minutes, and then I let these sit out and cool for a little bit before I cut them. But I did cut them into 16 bars. You can do them a little bit bigger if you want. That will change the Nutritionals. But look how deliciously oaty and fudgy they look. They look awesome. I'm gonna give it a try. Right now on camera, you know, we gotta try it. Quality control, make sure these are good enough to share with you guys. They're so thick and oaty. I love it. Yum. They're delish. So these will be a great treat for you guys to have on hand. We'll have the Nutritionals listed below along with the instructions. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to get all your protein goodies, tigerfitness.com.